Good morning, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking to you about SharePoint creation using the hosted desktop control panel. First things first, you'll need to log into your control panel account via the web access. Once you've logged in, you should come to the home page where it will list any of the subscriptions you've currently got, as well as give you the options for adding more. To begin setting up your hosted SharePoint, you're going to click on the SharePoint hosting button up here. It will then take a moment, then it will bring you up to the next page where you can start entering the specifics required for your hosted SharePoint. First things first is to choose the package that you want. There's options from P1 all the way to P5. The size of the package you prefer is included in here, so if you change it to P3, you can see you then get more details here regarding the size of the package. So that one will give you 25 users and 10 gigs of space. The next option is to choose the portal template. This is the appearance of your site. As you can see, there's lots of various different options here. The most common one is Team Site, which is very similar to Office 365. So a few people may be used to that particular one. This is changeable at any particular time, that you can change this from within your SharePoint once you've set it up. You'll then come on to the next section here. You need to add your organization. Just pop the domain name in there. Again, I'll put the same domain name for this section here. You then need to choose a manager as who's going to be the manager of the SharePoint account. So if you're going to be the one setting it up, in charge of it, you'll then want to pop your own email address in here. It'll already specify the domain as per the account you've set it up with. You'll then need to choose an address. This is the web address that you're going to be going to in order to access your site. So in this particular one, I'm just going to do sptest2. So that when I go to sptest2.sharepoint.hdcloud.co.uk, it will open my SharePoint site. You can then choose the title for your SharePoint site. So I'm just going to call this one SharePoint Test. Then you need to pick the admin email, which is usually, depending on how you want to set it up, going to be the same as the person who's administering it. In here, you can put a description about your SharePoint site, and then any comments that you want just for your own particular reference. Once you're happy with all that, you can then click the shopping cart button. Once you then come to this page, it will give you a summary of the order and then give you an option to place order. Once you select this button, it will automatically notify our accounts team, who will then amend your billing accordingly, depending on the size of the package you've chosen. Once you click place order, it will take you back to the main screen, and you'll see down the bottom that your SharePoint site is provisioning, and there'll be a little egg timer icon next to it. It does take a little while to complete. So in this instance, to save time, I've already created one earlier on. Once it's gone, this section here will change from having the provisioning icon, the little egg timer, to being ready like this. It will show you a few details about your SharePoint site, such as the address, what you're using of the package currently, and then give you additional options over here to either add users the quick way or just to manage. So we're going to click on the manage option now. Once you come into here, it will take you to the general settings page first of all. This gives a little bit of a summary of the package you've got. Basically, there's nothing really that you can change in here. The main things that we're going to focus on here are the permissions and the groups and the users, as they're the main bits that you're going to want to change from within the control panel. So we go to the permissions levels. You'll see here the six defaults rather that it creates. So you've got full control, design, edit, contribute, read, and limited access. And over here it gives you a summary of what the options are, what it permits them to do. You can add custom. Selecting this option here, add permission level. And it'll take a moment or two while it loads it up. You can then give it anything you like as a name. You can pop a description in there if you like, and then you can go through here checking which options you'd like that particular level to have. So you've got options such as just being able to view and list the items, or being able to add list the items. Obviously there's a wide variety there. The full mass permission gives them full control over everything. Once you're happy with that, you then just hit save. It will take a moment or two and then take you back to the main screen. I've not selected that one there. As you can see, you'll then have a custom permission set up down there. You can then apply this to groups and users once you've got something that you'd like to apply it to. So next we'll have a quick look at groups. Groups are a useful method for managing, particularly if you've got one of the larger packages, as rather than applying permission levels onto each users, you can create a group and set the permission level on the group, which you then add the users to that group and they'll have the permission set as per there. So to do it, you can call it a particular group name. So if we call this one limited users, pretty much says it already in the title, but we'll give it a description as well. We'll put Fred Blogs as the group owner, and we're just going to give them the options to read. So they can read everything, but they can't change anything. We've only got 2 members in this particular SharePoint, but we're then going to add Steve to the selected members, and then hit save. Whilst it does that one. And then it'll bring us back, and we can see we've now got the limited users group. Fred's the owner of the group, and it shows what the permission levels are there. You can then go into that one and edit it if you want to add more users to it. So now the user Steve will only have the limited rights. Just for the purpose of this, we're now going to delete this group. Now we can come onto the users page here. As you can see, we've already got 2 users set up on here. So we've got Fred Blogs, which is the primary administrator, as this is the one we set when creating the account up. So he's always going to have full control of the site, and we'll be able to adjust all the options. Steve is a second user that's been created, and again only has read access here. Now if you wanted to add additional users, you can do so via this button here. The option, pick a user's name, pick the display name. You can choose the user's role. So again, which levels of permissions you're looking to have. Again, you pop in their email address and their passwords, any particular notes that you'd like. You can then have the send email option here and specify an email address. That will then send the information of the new account to that email address. If we go back, however, you can then see that editing the users is very much the same as creating a new one, with a couple of minor changes to the layout. You get all the general options on one tab here. So we've got notes on there that he's a read-only user. So if we want to change him, we could select him to a contributor and remove that note as it no longer applies. If we were then to hit save, that would then make the changes here. If you need to reset a password for a user for their SharePoint, you can do that from within this option here. You do have the option to generate a random password as well and send that across. That concludes sort of the control panel aspect side of things. What I'm going to do now is show you a few things that you can actually do within your hosted SharePoint once you've set it up. So at the top of your control panel here, it will always show you the address, which you can do there. So I'm just going to copy this one and go straight to that address. As you can see, when you go there, it prompts you to log in. Now, the login officer will log in as the full admin. So you can log in as Fred. And once it's loaded, you'll get this similar layout to what you get initially with Office 365 by having the team site layout. These are the various options that you've got for adjusting the SharePoint site. So we're going to start from here. We're going to have a look at the style option first of all. So from here you can rename the site, so you can call it your company name, put a little description there if you wanted to. You've then got the option to add a logo, so anywhere you see this particular icon there would then be replaced with the logo that you provide. Now you've got the from computer option, which is fairly similar to most applications like this. You can then select choose file, pick one from your computer and hit OK, and it will upload it. You can also put in a URL address for an image and save that in here, and it will automatically just pull to that address and replace the image there. You can pop in a text description as well, which will replace the image if for any reason it can't be loaded. For example, if someone's got images turned off on their web browser. Once you've made any changes there, you can hit OK, and that will take you back to the main page again. As mentioned, you'll be able to change the template once created. So if you go into the What's My Style option, it gives you the ability to change the look of the website. Now it'll take a moment while it loads the different styles up. As I say, this is the default one, the team site, but you've got various other ones here that you can choose from. So for example, if we just pick this one here, and then once you go in it, there are again a few options that you can adjust. You can change the color scheme slightly, or you can pop a background image on there. You can also change the layout slightly, so you've got the two choices, which is the Seattle layout and the Oslo layout. The main difference being the options at the side and at the top there. You can also adjust the font that you'd like the site to appear in. You then got the option to try it out. Take a moment whilst it applies it. Then it will give you a preview of the new theme, so you can have a look here, see whether you decide you like it or not. If you do, you can hit the yes, keep it option. If not, you can hit the no, not quite there, and it'll take you straight back to this section here. If we go back to the home page, this is the option here for lists, libraries, and other apps. In here, you can find various other things that you can add to your SharePoint. These are all the apps available. There's also the three sort of noteworthy ones, the more popular ones, such as the document library, custom lists, and tasks. If you want to add an application, you simply just click on it. It gives you an option to give it a name, so you can have multiple applications that are the same, but you give them different names so that you can distinguish them. So we'll just call this list 2. Hit create. And it'll take you straight to your site content section. Now, these are the apps that are currently on there. You can also go to the Add an Apps page from there. If you hover over an app, you get the three options there. That gives you the options to go into the settings or to remove the app itself. Simply just click on the app to go into it. And then, for example, this is the list tasks here, so you can now add new tasks in there. Pop in the details that you like, start dates, due dates, and you can then assign it to a particular member of your SharePoint. Start that particular task today, there, and then hit save, and it'll then add that into the application there. If we go back to the home option as well, you'll then see you've got a few options for controlling your account here as well. If you go into the site settings option there, you can then go into various different things here, so you can adjust some of the permissions that you could adjust from the SharePoint, such as the people and the groups, their level of access. As well, you can adjust certain things, so you can change the administrators if you wanted more than one administrator. You can adjust applications for certain things. And basically, this gives you actual options to change pretty much everything within your SharePoint from there. Should you have any sort of additional questions regarding either setting up SharePoint or using SharePoint once you've set it up, if you contact our support team via our usual support methods such as email or via the phone, we're more than happy to assist. I hope you found this presentation useful. Thanks for listening.